So the WNBA is setting records. There are teams that are getting a lot of viewership, and it's not just entirely Caitlyn Clark, but a hell of a lot of it is. Let's be real, a hell of a lot of it is. And these numbers are absolutely crazy compared to other years, compared to how it had been doing. And the percentage increase of viewers year on year in the WNBA has been absolutely crazy. And the Fever hold the record on every single network, except for one, where they're going to break it on Sunday when they play the Sky on CBS. They're going to smash the record. The CBS game with them that might be one of the, I don't know what way it works in America, for viewership and stuff. I don't know what channels are more available, but if there's a record we broke, Kennedy Carter versus, forget Angel Reese, Kennedy Carter versus Caitlyn Clark Part 2 is going to break any sort of record. For you know, if you guys aren't new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to 7,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We are only 2,000 off, lads. Anyway, now let's get on to the video. So, let me read off some of these statistics right here. So, ESPN, so across ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and CBS, games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, tripling last season's average. Tripling it. That is wild. Opening night matchup between the Fever and the Sun averaged 2.12 million viewers, peaking at 2.34 million. That is mental. That is absolutely mental. Like, that is genuinely numbers that, like, that's definitely more than most NBA games. Like, obviously, I don't think it'll be more than the NBA Finals, but it's definitely more than most NBA games. And, like, we all know Caitlyn Clark's, like, the Final Four. Heck, we all know the Elite Eight, Final Four, and Championship game were all more viewed in the NBA Finals. ABC, Fever versus the Liberty averaged 1.71 million viewers, making it the most viewed WNBA game on ABC ever. Second most viewed game across Disney networks ever, only behind opening night. WNBA Countdown has averaged 741,000 viewers, up 212%. And that is not a Fever game. Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever, the second time they played, averaged 1.56 million viewers, making it the most viewed WNBA game on ESPN ever. I'm actually surprised the Caitlyn Clark versus Angel Reese game didn't take over from that, but obviously Angel Reese might not be the level of draw that she thinks she is. CBS, in the network's first game of the season, the Liberty and the Lynx averaged 704,000, making the most viewed WNBA game in CBS ever. And Ion and NBA TV, Ion set its record with the first time, or was it the second time? No, the first time the Sparks played the Fever when the Fever won their first game, 724,000 viewers. And it also said that the viewership had increased by 51% in weeks 1 to 3 compared to last season. On NBA TV, the second time the Sparks played the Fever averaged 356,000, making the most viewed WNBA game ever. And after that, the Fever and Liberty game averaged 430,000, making it the most watched game, taking over the record. So, other than the Lynx and Liberty, which is the first game of the season, which is going to be overtaken by the Kennedy Carter versus Caitlyn Clark rematch, every single, it seems like every single viewership record is being broken this year. Look, I don't know where they're getting these numbers from, because I do know, I'm pretty sure, the actual viewership records were set, in, the early 2000s, because, well, more people watch TV, and they did make big events out of certain games earlier on, and nowhere near what college was this past year, but I do think that's where a lot of the WNBA record viewership-wise is where. But now you're seeing it, you're seeing how much of a draw Caitlyn Clark is to the league. Viewership is doubling and tripling because of this one player. I'm not saying that, look, there are people that watch the league for the Aces. There are people that watch the league for the Liberty. There are people that'll watch the league because they like the likes of Arika Gambawale. There are Diana Taurasi fans out there. There might be 17 Brittany Griner fans in the world. There might be a couple of fans for, heck, if you're interested, Kalia Copper's been balling this year. There could be fans of the Neka Wumake and Skylar Diggins-Smith for the Storm. There are definitely fans for all these teams. Look, I think, again, a rising tide lifts all boats. And yeah, there is of the new viewers, I don't even think, see all these viewership numbers that are increasing, everyone being oh, we don't want all these new viewers. The problem is that, if you guys don't realize it, most of the crazies that are supporting Caitlyn Clark for nothing other than a political agenda probably aren't watching the games. They probably aren't watching the games. And again, that's if you're a Caitlyn Clark fan watching all the games, supporting her. That's not who I'm going after. Trust me, you know who the people are. Like, this video just mentioning that will probably get more dislikes than normal. But it is just crazy how much of a draw this one player is. And surprisingly enough, considering the fact that the Connecticut Sun, who don't really have any big players, got more views on ESPN than Caitlyn Clark did against Angel Reese, is a bit of a surprise. The Chicago Sky, they're not drawing in viewers. They're really not. Like, I think that the vast majority, I think Angel Reese, as far as just the celebrity of her, outside of basketball, is as big as anyone, and I do think that it's important for the league to have celebrities, but let's be real, people are not tuning in to watch female Joakim Noah. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is, and I've watched every single Chicago Sky game this year. If you're asking me who's the best player on the Chicago Sky team, it's Marina Mabry. If you're asking me who the second best player on the Chicago Sky team is, it's Kennedy Carter. If you're asking me the third best player, probably either Angel Reese or Cardoso. I'm going to say Angel Reese for now, but you never really, I think Cardoso could step up eventually, and for the FIFA, it's very clearly Clark. But I think if she has more games, like, if she continues to do what she did against the Mystics, and you might be saying, oh, the Mystics just suck on defense. The Mystics we're not that bad on defense. Did you not see how many screens she was having to run off to get an inch of space? And that inch of space was falling away over her, like, over her right shoulder, falling away, hitting shots. Like, come on. If you think that it was easy doing what she did against the Mystics, pulling from 30 on the move, coming off triple screens, like, she was literally running from one corner, coming off 3 off-ball screens and fading away like she was Kyle Korver from even further away, from Dame range. Like, that's not easy to do. That's not easy. That's not teams letting her score. And probably the reason why they didn't put Ariel Atkins on her is because half her scores were off the ball. Like, you don't want to waste your best defender running off screens when your best defender can guard the isolation scorer who just wants to play like a my player and go dribble, 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 like Kelsey Mitchell. So I think Caitlyn Clark's going to have more and more games like these. I think she's going to continue to ball like this. And I think these records are going to be there. Records are there to be broken. And I think Sunday's going to be the big one. And I'm sorry, it's not because of Angel Reese. And by the way, I love Angel Reese, a player. I really like Angel Reese, a player. I think as far as rookies go so far this year, it's Clark, it's Reese, and then there's the rest. Then there's a gap between them and Rakia Jackson. I don't know how Cameron Brink's PR is keeping her in that top 2 conversation, but she is the best PR in history. But I think that because of the Kennedy Carter versus Caitlyn Clark rematch, Sunday's going to break the CBS record, and it's literally going to be every single network is going to be just Caitlyn Clark games. It's going to be Caitlyn Clark games. So I don't understand the whole logic of Caitlyn Clark is not the biggest draw in this league, because every single viewership record is going to be broken by Caitlyn Clark. But at the same time, WNBA Countdown, a lot of other games, heck, the Liberty and the Lynx game, there are people that are more interested. There are. Like, when sports grow, you get a bunch of idiots that come along with it. But at the same time, the sport is without question growing. So anyway, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys happy? Are you guys annoyed? And obviously, I will be live streaming the Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever game. Probably will be firing up in about 15 minutes. But I'll probably have fired up probably about 10 minutes after this video goes up. Anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.